Iranian woman lashed 74 times for rejecting hijab. The Iranian regime began 2024 with intensified repression of women, exemplified by executing the sentence of Raya Hashmati to 74 lashes for defying compulsory hijab laws. During her punishment, Hashmati, a staunch critic of these laws, boldly stated, "I have come to receive my lashes. I won't cover up," when the officials demanded her compliance. So just let me just make this clear. They sentenced her to get lashed 74 times. She shows up for them to beat the shit out of her, and they're like, "Okay, put on your hijab." And she's like, "No, no, no. I'm not even gonna put on my hijab while you're lashing me for not wearing the hijab." Badass. Um, Her description of the punishment room as a medieval torture chamber with iron shackles poignantly illustrates the harsh realities faced by many Iranian women. Additionally, Zainab Hunyapur received a 2-year prison sentence for sharing photos without a hijab on social media. In a related case, Iranian singer Mehdi Zarahi faced a sentence of 2 years and 8 months in prison and 74 lashes for releasing a song criticizing the hijab laws. Despite posting bail, Zarahi's song, I'm not sure how you would pronounce this in Persian, Rusarito, or your headscarf, which encourages women to defy the mandatory hijab, highlights the growing resistance against the regime's strict dress code and crackdown on dissent in Iran. So this was just, yeah, Pakistani Defense Forces saying bravest woman on this planet. Like the cojones to when they're like, okay, you have to show up today or we're going to lash you 74 times for not wearing the hijab. And she shows up not wearing the hijab. And they're like, okay, time to comply. Put on that hijab, girl, cover yourself. She's like, no, no, go do it. I'm not going to wear hijab right now. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. Armin, did you hear about this case? Because I was seeing a lot about this on the like social media things that I follow on the Persian side of things.
Yes, people were on the Persian side. They were asking us to make sure that we cover this on the Persian side of Atheist Republic, and I went and checked to tell you to make sure that we have this on the news, and then I wanted to check whether or not we have this before I ask you, and then I saw that you already had covered it, so I didn't need to tell you anything. So thank you so much for that. You were ahead of me. By the way, this. Yeah, I mean, it's just barbaric. The fact that we're still talking about people being lashed um, in 2024, it's insane. Like, this is medieval. This is barbaric. I don't even know if any of this needs to be said.
Oh, you want to talk about
Yeah.
medieval Iranian punitive justice? Don't worry, it's about to get a lot worse later in the show. This is
Oh
light.
no.
This is easy.
There was an artist. Um, a, I think it was a poet. I forgot. I don't remember his name. I'm bad his names. In Iran, that because of drinking alcohol, they were giving him 100 lashes, and the person who was doing the lashes, instead of 100, he gave him 101 lashes, right? And the people who were doing the counting, they were like, okay, we did one extra. And they went to the poet and they were like, okay, because we did one extra lash, you can now do one lash against the person that was lashing you, right? So they were like, you can do this now because we gave you too much. And the poet said that, I'm not going to do that. A human would not lash another human being. Like,
Mm.
that's not me. I wouldn't do that. And the person that was doing the lashing just dropped crying, like sobbing for, like, I just lashed this man 100 times and he wouldn't even do it once to me because he says that's not my humanity. So It just reminded me of that story. That's something that I just recently heard about that happened in Iran. But
Mm,
anyways, I think that I don't know. I think that we will overcome this. It's just so bizarre that a country with these kind this this mindset, these people, like I think the Iranian people deserve so much better than this. Like so much better than this. Like one of the most liberal minded people in the world. Like we don't see people this much into secularism, this much into liberalism, this much into freedom of speech. These people have this government. It's truly one of the most undeserving. I don't understand how everything come together to have this is such a curse, such a disease, and so much had to go wrong for this to happen to Iran, and it all went wrong. And if you look at the history, and I don't just blame Islam for what's happening to Iran. I also blame, the communists, the progressives, because again, the Islamists by themselves would not be able
yeah.
to screw a country this badly. If you go look at the history, it was the Islamists and the communists that did this to Iran.
Hmm.
Which I, by the way, wrote an article about, which is going to be published soon on Queer Majority.
I was
So
about to ask you, when is that
explain.
getting published?
It's getting published soon, very soon.
That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. These people deserve a lot of praise
yeah,
because most of us wouldn't have the strength and courage to do this.
yeah.
And
By
especially
the
like
way,
the
no, they're not.
continued, I think what's most impressive is like the continued defiance in the face of the
Yeah,
brutality. It's just legendary.
right. But by the way, there's some misinformation in the live chat. It's not the support for the government based on the polls that we have. It's not 20%. It was 12% a couple of years ago. So I'm 12%, and I think it's a lot less now after the master revolution. I think I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if it had dropped by half. Like I think by now it's either 8 or 6% or something like that, if I had to guess. But last time there was a scientific poll, it was 12%.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, speaking of hijab enforcement, we got another story regarding that coming up.
right. By the way, guys, we're still demonetized. This stream is still demonetized, so please keep supporting us with memberships and super chats because we will. And also, actually, you know what? If you cannot support us financially, please make sure you like the stream, because I just want to make sure that this content that we, first of all, the reason why we ask for you super chat is because me and Susanna are doing this a lot more, spending a lot more hours on our streams than we used to, right? So there's a lot of other things that we're not doing, and doing this because you guys have shown us that there's a lot of demand for this, right? So for us to be able to continue do this and do not do other things, that's why the super chats and the memberships and all of that helps, right? But again, if you cannot support us financially, please make sure you like the stream right now. Everybody that is watching, make sure at least you like it, because that's free. That doesn't cost you anything. And once the show is over, make sure you leave a comment under the show, because if the channel grows, then we will be able to sustain ourselves financially enough to just be able to continue doing this indefinitely, right? So at least do that. At least make sure you like the stream. But yeah, let's go
Thank
on.
you.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.